All right, just to kick things off, I want to remind everyone that for LEL League, we are promoting some charities. The first of which is Polly's Project. That is sort of the official charity for LEL League, and they serve the homeless out in Southern California, specifically Los Angeles, and they take donations in a variety of forms. Please check out their website, and if you feel led to give, we would encourage that as a thank you to the organizers of the tournament. My own personal, this is sort of the channel charity because I serve with this ministry, is SAM Ministries. They serve in Mozambique and Brazil. And I had previously shared a story of a young man who was injured, who SAM Ministries was going to help out. And I thought before we kick off this stream, and I will put a time tag in the bottom for those who want to skip over, I'm going to play a short video promotional with an update about this young man and sort of the fundraiser that SAM Ministries runs each year called Steps to Stop Hunger. I hope you'll hang around and watch that, but otherwise, I will catch you in the cast. Catch you in a few minutes.
Meet Pedrito. Pedrito is 28 years old and married. Like many young men here in rural Mozambique, Pedrito did whatever he could to provide for his family. With very few opportunities for education and even fewer for employment, he turned to artisanal gold mining, one of the only ways to earn an income, but also very dangerous. A few months back, tragedy struck. While working nearly 30 meters underground in a narrow hand-dug shaft, the walls collapsed around him. Pedrito survived, but he was left permanently paralyzed from the waist down. Sadly, his story is not unique. Poverty forces many people out here to make impossible choices simply to survive. My name's Dwight Lagore, and I'm the field team leader for SAM Ministries here in Mozambique. And I'm here to launch our Steps to Stop Hunger this year, which is our feeding program that enables us to provide food for hungry orphans, widows, vulnerable children, and families like Pedrito's facing crises. This year, devastating floods washed away fields, bridges, as some of you remember from some of my earlier videos about the repair of bridges we needed, and left many families with literally nothing. And as always, it's the children that suffer the most. Every week, SAM Ministry serves thousands of meals. We also provide infant formula through our rural clinics, ensuring that babies who have lost their mothers or don't have adequate milk have the best chance to survive. Our goal this year is to raise 4,000 bags of corn. Each bag only costs $25, and because of the generosity of so many of you, we've already raised 1,000 bags this year, leaving only 3,000 to raise before the end of the year. Your support also made it possible for us to help Pedrito here. When our health team found him, Pedrito was in a hard bed with pressure sores, pressure ulcers that needed treatment. Not only so, Pedrito also needed the protein, the added nutrition he needed so that the sores could heal properly. Because of your generosity, Pedrito not only received the medical care he needed, but also the nutrition he needed. And today, his wounds are healing well, and we're so thankful for that. Pedrito is just one of the many lives being helped. Every meal, every bag of corn, and every act of compassion reminds someone that they are seen, that they are valued, and that they are loved. We recently completed our Steps to Stop Hunger walk here in Mozambique, and now we're inviting you to join us. You can organize a walk, or you can simply donate a few bags of corn, whatever you can do to help us achieve our goal by the end of the year. One step at a time, one bag of corn at a time, one life at a time. Together, we can bring hope, we can bring healing, and we can bring the love of Christ to hundreds of families here in Mozambique. Thank you for walking with us.
All right, I'm back with you. I'm just going to do a quick sound check to make sure the stream is working okay. So you may hear a bit of an echo for a moment here. One moment.
The only ways to
Yeah,
earn
that's
an
working.
income,
All
but
right, good.
also
Good. I don't actually expect anyone to be live this morning or this afternoon. We are all sort of night owls, as best I can tell. So, but I will try and monitor the chat as I cast this. I don't want to record it and then post it, because what ends up happening is if I make a mistake, I'm tempted to go back and fix the mistake and do video editing. And I think I mentioned before, with the prices of hard drives these days, I don't really want to be storing any more data on my hard drive than necessary. So we're going to do this just in real time, mistakes and all, and it's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. And that way, if someone is around and they want to hop in and, provide some commentary in the chat, the YouTube chat, also just reach out and say, if you want to hop on Discord and chat, we can do that too. But thus far, I don't see that anyone's here, but that's okay. We will proceed with the cast. This is the Lowdown Legends. That is Gary's left foot, and Charles Martel, versus the Motivational Howlers, which is my team. Myself and Motivation Man 23. I should have actually gotten some of the insights up, the AoE2 insights up, because some elos have changed recently. I'm currently sitting around 1130 elo. I do have a current ranking in the 1v1 ladder because I've played 1 or 2 matches recently. We've got my teammate, Motivation Man 23. He is at 1300. He broke the 1300 elo ceiling. And I will not necessarily share. He's pretty open about what he's been doing recently, but I'm not gonna spoil his secrets, because I actually he's my teammate and I want my team to win. So anyway, he's been having good luck on the ladder, the 1v1 ladder, and we are up against Charles Martel, who's at 1270, close to 1300. I don't know where he's peaked. And Gary's left foot, and I have no idea what his elo is. But he has a reputation as a survivor in these games. He's regularly gotten pushed hard and had his city caved in, and somehow he just rebooms and comes back into the game. So if you've seen some previous casts, you know this guy is resilient. He's a bit slower to boom. I wouldn't say he's an aggressive player, but he is tenacious. A tenacious survivor is what I would call him. Okay, with that, why is Age of Empires not launched? I thought the game was running. I guess not. All right. We're gonna get the game launched while I talk about the draft. Lowdown LDL, or LDL picked Pilgrims, and then we picked Hideout. And then the admin pick was Arena, which I was kind of bummed by. I actually probably should have banned Arena. The thing is, Charles Martel and Gary are strong on Black Forest, so we didn't really want to face them on Black Forest. But seeing as how, I don't know, probably, well, they're good on our closed maps, we're good on our open maps. They banned Step, though. I guess we should have maybe picked, like, Hyper Random Nomad or something. Okay. We may have to do some sound adjustments here, but let's just... get into game 1 in Arena. You can see the civ picks here. We can talk a bit more about them as we go. And did that work? Yeah, that works. All right, so this is Arena. And oh, I see we're not live. That's the problem here. This is Arena. Blue, we've got Motivation Man, who is Spanish. And I think the game volume is a bit loud here. Yeah, I'm going to turn it down a bit, guys. All right. Yeah. Sorry about that. So Spanish. He went Spanish. The Conquistadors, they've got decent knights. We thought would be a good complement to me. And I'm going Japanese. And right out of the gate, we said what we're going to do. And you're going to get insight from me because obviously I played this game. I'm going to tell you what we were planning, almost as if this was a POV stream, but obviously it's not because we're just watching it after the fact. I was going to go infantry rush. I told Moto, we gotta push these guys early, or at least that's how I gotta play it. I can't compete in a boom. I'm just not a very good boomer. I'm not good at late game. So, then we got Gary here, who's going Cumans. Probably a 2 TC boom in Feudal Age. Although it's possible he could go Rams, right? You can do Feudal Rams, and I've seen that strategy too. One player goes. Infantry. I think you need Romans really for that. And then we got Bohemians. So my thought was, okay, they're just gonna boom, and then they're gonna go cavalry siege in the late game. We got the Boar coming in here for Gary. We've got Martel here, Charles Martel on Bohemians. He's pushing his deer. I had really good deer set up. My deer are really close to my TC, pushing those in. Villager count's very even right now. Yeah. Pushing his deer. Gary's got some forward golds. I have 1 forward gold and 1 rear gold. I've realized the importance of where these golds are to the game. Moto also has a good setup. You could actually argue there's a bit of a bugged map. Look, they've got forward golds for both of them. So they could be pressured. But with incomplete knowledge of the map, you don't know those things. So we don't really have a lot of exploration done. We're just pushing deer. And I'm actually just going to speed forward, guys, because nothing interesting is happening at the moment. Everyone's bringing their boars in. I'm eating my last boar now. Very even on villager count, and we have the click up to feudal. We have Modi, who's up already to feudal or on his way up. We've got Gary, who's halfway there. And this early click up, normally you would think, oh, we've got a rush coming in, right? When you get an early click up. And it's true, I guess humans could do a rush with an early up time. But it's my understanding that for a feudal boom, you also want to be up early. So it doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot for humans. Everyone's clicked up now. Charles was clicked up, and then I clicked up last. I'm on 23 vills. I'm going to go fast castle. I don't know why Modi went 20 vil up. It might have been a mistake on his part. I don't actually quite recall what we were talking about at the time. And then we've got 22 up from Charles Martel. And I don't know if 22 is standard with Bohemians, but I'm also not going to question how he plays Arena because he probably plays it better than I do. We've got Gary here, who is up now, and there goes down his second TC to begin a bit of a feudal boom, it looks like. So it doesn't look like he's going to do any rushing, right? Because he's spending his resources. Yeah, he doesn't really have any. He could actually, with this amount of wood, he could drop down like a range or a stable, but he doesn't have a barracks. So he would need a barracks first to do any sort of a rush. He saved his wood for a second TC, and I think we're just going to see him produce villagers. So likely they're going to take the economic edge. Everyone's up except myself. I'm about to make it to feudal, and I'm going to try and go for the quick castle click up. I don't have the quickest castle time on this one. Charles has his 2 buildings already. Missing a bit of food, and he'll be clicked up. I'm surprised we don't see a forced drop off. Got loom for Modi. I'm trying to break the habit of just clicking loom, especially on closed maps like this. Let's see, Bob says, Bob the Donut Man. I actually don't know who that is in game, but 2 TC boom on arena can be punished, but if left unchecked will give a huge eco lead. I've tried the Cuman's boom maybe twice, so I can just say that it never has worked for me, but I'm also not good at booming. That's something I have repeated several times. I am aggressive early game, and if I don't close the game out early, I fall apart. But yeah, I can imagine that being able to start your boom an age earlier helps. I presume it delays your castle time, so if you get pressured early, it can be maybe a problem. But of course, you got lots of eco underneath the town center, so it's protected. So we've got Charles halfway up to castle. I'm halfway up to castle, so we'll arrive in castle about the same time. I am on stone because I'm going to go for a castle. Actually, I was thinking about a castle drop, but I didn't have any. I don't have a barracks. I don't have any way to defend a castle drop. Now, as it turns out, I probably would have been okay. They don't have any military to deny a castle drop, but you don't know these things, and my luck is that if I castle drop without defending the castle drop, it becomes a doubt castle just because that's my luck. Playing some games with scouts. Really just trying to prevent them from scouting our rush. Now, Modi's plan, I think, was to come back me up. Yeah, so originally I was going to castle drop on Gary, right? He's my next door neighbor here. But I don't have any way to defend that. So, and neither of us were going to have castle age units or any sort of units ready to go early enough. So anyway, I'm up. Charles Martel is up, and you can see Modi is halfway up. He's got about a minute to go here before he's up. We've got a boom immediately from Charles, and this is going to spiral out of control quickly unless we can either take his teammate out of the game or pressure him. You can see we've already lost the villager edge here because of Gary's boom. What's he up to? He's up to 45 villagers, and the rest of us are like high 20s, close to 30 villagers. So already we're seeing, we don't really see a resources collected edge yet, a little bit maybe, but this is going to just, we're going to see him take off here. Okay, now I know who this is. Yeah, I guess maybe I should practice that sometime. So Bob the Donut Man, which I think is saying can hit castle age at 20 minutes and maintain 3 stable night production and 2 TCs if executed well. Yeah. Okay, well, 20 minutes, there's nothing wrong with a 20-minute castle time, and night production. Okay. 3 stable. Yeah, that could be powerful. I don't know if that's what we're going to see out of Gary, but that might be something for me to practice. So I'm doing my secondary walls here because inevitably someone castle drops me. Modi's castle is going up. Mine finally is going up. I didn't have my timings quite perfect to have stone as soon as I hit castle age. We got Charles here, who's just booming. He's at 38 villagers. I'm at 33. I'm trying to keep villager production going, but as I've already alluded to, we're doing something else here. I'm going for aggro. I don't really want to waste a lot of time just booming. I want to do damage. We still have some scout games going on here. Modi loses his scout. And that's a big economy there. And Gary is about to be up to castle in the next 2 minutes or so. And yeah. Conquistadors from Moti, and he's putting down a second TC here. And I'm producing Samurai, and I'm going to load up my siege tower here. I'm on single TC right now. I am still producing villagers, not necessarily with perfect regularity. Actually, let's take a look at that. Yeah, you can see the lowdown legends are pulling away for resources collected because they're going for boom and we're going for aggro. Now, yeah, I don't like the fact that their eco's already taking off here. If we take a look at their society, you can see I am still producing villagers, just slowly and on a single TC. You can see Charles is just skyrocketing. He's about to match Gary for villagers. So yeah, I'm going to basically fill up this tower, and I know, I think I'm going to see that Gary's up now, and I'm going to start panicking. Yeah, he's up. I'm like, okay. The problem with Castle, I already know he's on 2 TCs, right? The problem with Castle is he's going to have more TCs or possibly a castle. I was more thinking about a castle. A defensive castle would deny me any chance at... oh, look at this. Why did he cancel those houses? Ah. Okay, so he was aware. He knew what was coming. Did he scout it? He must have scouted the siege tower. He saw the castle. He saw the castle. He knew I was going to break in with infantry. But it's too slow, and I'm over the walls. And Charles is, I don't know, saying, wall up. Or he's escaping. Ah, he already escaped, this guy. I told you he's tenacious. He's a survivor. He's already gone. All right, but Modi is here to back me up, and is he going to catch these 2 villagers escaping? I don't know. So yeah, we're slicing through his house wall. Going to make short work of that with the infantry. And you can see we're losing the eco edge huge here. We're at 84 villagers to 141. So we have to get some damage in quickly here. We have to make this count. Of course, you don't know when you're playing just how far behind you are. Yeah, I'm going to break through this house too. I mean, with the attack bonus of the samurai and their attack... I don't know how their attack speed compares. It seems a lot faster. Now that they've synced the animations, the attack animations with the actual attack, you can tell that their attack is faster than, I think, a longsword's. I don't know exactly what the timing is, but this 10 plus 2 is going to be even faster. And yeah, speaking of which, I think I have all these blacksmith upgrades. Yeah, I have my 2 upgrades for infantry. I wanted to hit hard. But I'm going to need something more against these town centers. And he's putting down a 3rd now, which is going to make raiding his eco even more difficult. I was annoyed that I let him build this. But it is what it is. Now, I don't know why, but this ram takes absolutely ages to break through this gate. And I don't understand why that is. It just... Now, I have a bunch of samurai that I could have garrisoned in that ram. Anyway, so I keep doing damage where I can, trying not to stand underneath the TCs. I'm taking out his market. Modi's here to back me up, snipe some villagers. Charles is onto Hussite Wagon. I don't know if Hussite Wagon is... I think it's probably decent against infantry. He's onto his 4th TC now. He is at 93 villagers, and he's clicked Imp. We've got Moti at 58 villagers, and he is not at Imp. He is supporting me right now. Truth be told, I probably didn't need these units here. They were nice, but I probably didn't need them. Moti probably should have done what he does best, and that is boom. Now, that said, he is on 3 TCs building a 4th, so it's not like it's bad. Yeah, see this ram is this. I'm wondering if it stopped attacking. This ram stopped attacking. I don't know. Is this a bug? Oh no, there's still damage. No, but the damage is coming from the conquistadors. I don't know why my ram stopped attacking. But this gate, I thought my ram was doing its job, but it clearly wasn't. This was bad. This delayed us doing more damage for quite a while. That was frustrating. I could have been in and I could have already pushed his TCs by this point. So that was frustrating to deal with. Eco 120 to 180. You can take a look at villager count. You can see that Gary really, I mean, he's losing villagers, but he's still producing. So he's still just like flat for villager count here. Charles is up to 110. Modi's at 75 or so. And I'm just, I'm not really producing villagers. I'm focused on the push. You can see resources trending as you might expect as a consequence of that number of villagers. And this is just too late. This damage is just coming in too late. It's just, yeah, he's going to lose his whole eco here. But it's taking so long. We're half an hour in. Charles is up to Imperial. And he's going hand cannons, which is the right call against what I'm doing. I'm still, I probably also should have been trying to grow my eco a bit more. I was heavily invested in this push, but it was just, damage was coming too late, and I was just on a single TC, so I've just fallen way, way behind. Based on score, yeah, I've done damage to Gary, but not as much as he's, like, because we're both pushing him, we're both suffering as a result. So that's just a mistake. Yeah, you can't let your strong player free boom. It's a dangerous, dangerous idea. And we've got hand cannons coming forward from Charles here. Pushing down the second of Gary's TCs. He lost his first here. Yeah, I mean, you're not denying this push anymore. That said, I was surprised at how quickly these rams went down to the arrow fire. Like, they seemed actually kind of weak to me. He's got mangonels. He's doing a good job of holding, I gotta say. Like, I was doing a lot of damage, but he was holding, right? He was wasting my time here. And we've got hand cannons all over. I don't know how hand cannons stack up against conquistadors. That's not something I've seen. Should have outpost Charles' base. Modi can tech to skirms to counter. Yeah. I mean, should have been scouting this. Should have been. Frankly, Modi should have been focused on Charles. He should have been focused on getting imp. But, mistakes were made. Yeah, and going skirm. As it turns out, I am Japanese, and Japanese get, what is it? Cavalry archers +2 attack versus ranged soldiers, except skirmishers. So actually, my cavalry archers should do decently against these hand cannons. But right now, I'm on infantry. But as soon as I see the hand cannons, I am building ranges. The problem is I'm still castle age. I'm not up to imp yet. But you can see, I think this is it. This is it for Gary. Ah, except he's building a castle in the back. I didn't even know about this castle. So my push dies here. As you can see, hand cannons are coming forward. I lose everything. I mean, Gary is out of the game, but he's still alive as a player. And let's look at his stockpiles. He's still got tons of resources. Like, he's got 2,000 food. And he can just put down more TCs, and he can just boom back. So, I certainly slowed him down, but at the cost of letting Charles free boom into, spamming. Okay, so Modi is going skirm. He is getting elite now, but he's got to mass them, and he's not going to have an opportunity. I'm putting down another castle, I think, just to defend this point here. I was going to originally castle drop. In fact, I think I missed that in all my talking. I brought villagers forward, and I was going to castle drop just to seal his fate, Gary's fate. Charles is now slinging Gary. But then I realized it was a waste of stone to castle drop. First of all, he was kind of out of the game. Second of all, we had a bigger problem, and that was Charles. So I am sending just one of my unused rams over here to just cause some problems, distract him from his push against Moti. And I'm going to speed up just a little bit here. So this doesn't take all day. Yeah, so I'm creating cavalry archers now, and I am clicked up to imp. So the idea is of going cavalry archers is I have the bonus attack against hand cannons. I have the mobility advantage, and then they're fully upgraded for the Japanese. So it made sense to do that versus skirm. I thought. Now maybe just go skirm, but skirm is only good against ranged units. So if there was anything else, so this is silly. You don't want to trickle your units in. Now, actually, we had the resource edge for a little while because Gary was basically dead. But you can see that's not going to last long because Gary is able to reboom with great proficiency. And they're about to tie up the... I think even resources collected is just huge advantage for Charles. Hang on, I want to point something out here. If your push looks like this, you've lost, right? Like, if in your push you've done enough eco damage to yourself as your opponent, you've lost. And actually, the damage is worse because Moti should be tying with Charles Martel here if this push was actually effective. So actually, this push failed. We lost more than they did. That's the absurd thing about that push. Yeah, Gary lost all the way down to 23 villagers, but in the process, I didn't produce like 100 or 50 villagers, 80 villagers. So anyway, that's why I don't like closed maps. This is why I don't like arena. Yeah, so I was trying to boom now. I've got TC, second TC down. I need to find another. I got 3 TCs down, which to me is a full boom. I know that's more like 5 is a full boom. But Moti was sounding very unhappy, so I need to provide some sort of moral support. So I am trying to tech into heavy CA at this point. Yeah, if it's on me to be the player that booms, we've got problems. Yeah, he is holding. He has moved over here, but he's definitely on the losing end of this push. All right, everyone's imp now. And we've got some stables down. Again, the great thing about Cumans is that these stables altogether cost 225 wood. Okay, 225, 300 wood. So the same price you'd pay, or cheaper than what you'd pay for 2 stables from any other civ. That's the wonderful thing about humans. I do that with archery ranges. I'll put down like 3 ranges in the feudal age and go full archers kind of thing. But again, I'm not really a good humans player. No one's picked up relics yet, but it looks like Gary is going to. Charles is... Yeah, we need an answer to this. And pretty soon here, we're going to be facing a lot of probably steppe lancers. I guess you could go knights too from humans. Yeah, they got the steppe husbandry, which is scout cavalry line and steppe lancers train 100% faster, which would point to just massing a bunch of steppe lancers if you can afford to do that. Yeah, you could... Man, you could just pump them, couldn't you? Maybe I should practice that. Anyway, alright, so I'm trying to get some raids in against Charles, but he's got a line of castles here, so I'm not hitting his main eco, just hitting his outposts, his... This kind of stuff, right? Modi is on Paladin now. Are they fully upgraded Paladin? Yes, they are. Oh, maybe not quite. Missing an attack upgrade. And I'm not sure about Bloodlines. Yeah, you got Bloodlines. Yeah, trying to hurt the eco as much as I can. They do have a small edge in eco again, which is not great considering they started back. They were lagging behind a bit, and now we're going to try and go for the cleanup against all of his units. I'm getting here late, though. We're going to see a bunch of paladins go down. Yeah. Yeah, that's just it. Like, we had the right units. I wasn't worried about our unit composition. It was just... we didn't have the eco behind us. It just... we couldn't... yeah. Couldn't maintain. I think if I look at me... I guess I can keep producing. But yeah, I'm gold starved already. Modi was fine. Of course he's fine. He always has the resources. And I do have heavy CA now. That took me a while to tech into, but I was able to... I think they're all fully upgraded now. Maybe I'm missing the last... oh no, yeah, I've got everything. Now Charles is spamming units, and this is probably where I made a tactical blunder, and in fact, I think Modi has still got to forgive me for this. I felt the need to push. Like, I get uncomfortable just sitting and massing units and booming. I feel like this nervous energy, like I have to be doing damage to the opponent. And look at this from Charles now. He's just lined the middle of the map with bombards. So, like, when I feel like I'm losing, I'm like, I have to go do damage. I can't just sit behind my city gates. And so I'm like, I'm drawing my guys up this way because I want to go treb this. The problem with that decision is that Charles is going to start pushing again. So Modi is going to be paying the penalty. And now he's got cavalry in his base, and he's on like full skirm at the moment. So oh yeah, there's the treb. So yeah, I was trying to do two things at once. I was trying to push Gary again, but I was also trying to protect my ally. But because I'm out of position, now he's getting pushed again down south. Now, obviously, we do have to defend against Gary, but I guess we only got Spearman from Modi here. The CA were doing fine against the Cav. The thing with Step Lancers, I've discovered, at least, is they do have 6 Pierce. That's not a small amount of Pierce. My impression of Step Lancers is that they melt to Archer units, but how does that compare to, say, Paladin? Do we have a Paladin on the field, or did Modi lose? Yeah, he lost all his Cav. So you can see, I mean, Modi's losing everything, and he called the GG. My game volume was turned up. I didn't even hear him say, I'm going to call it. So I'm like sitting there still just playing, and I missed the boat here. So I kept playing for a bit, not understanding what was going on. But yeah, we were definitely dead. And again, I was just out of position. I couldn't protect him here. If I'd protected him here, maybe the game would have gone longer. I still think that we were just too far behind, really. I don't know. I have a decent amount of resources in the bank. Anyway, so that was game 1. See if we can just queue up game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Arena. This was their pick of a map. We chose it because I actually quite like Arena. Or not, sorry, Arena. Sorry. Their pick was Pilgrims, and I quite like Pilgrims. So I went with Pilgrims. Because I like Pilgrims. And so let's take a look at Pilgrims here. We have myself as the Dravidians. I've been playing Dravidians pretty obsessively on this map, and I think they're a solid pick. Let's see why. You get the additional fishing ship, and fishermen carry +15. You receive 200 wood when advancing to the next stage. And those two things together are great. Oh, and then the team bonus is docs provide +5 pop space. So, and I've just learned to work with them. They don't have any cavalry though, so if you like to play cavalry, you're gonna hate them because they get like battle elephant and they get light cav, and that's all they get at their stable. They don't get anything else. So, with Woot's, Woot's Steel, I was watching Spirit of the Law talking about it with the Woot, yeah, basically the thing that negates armor, bypasses armor. What's it called? Yeah, Woot Steel. Infantry and cavalry attack ignores armor. They actually have decent light cav for that reason. Like their trash cavalry unit can actually do decent damage because they ignore armor. But generally speaking, especially Castle Age, they don't really have an answer to knights. Or they don't have a knight equivalent unit. Unless you're going to chase around the map with pikemen or something. So that is their one flaw, and it doesn't bother me because I don't even build stables. There are other people who that's their go-to building. But okay, so you can see I've got my dock down already. I actually built an extra house that I didn't need. I've already got a fishing ship out. Actually, Charles does too. So he's done a good job getting his first fishing ship out. I think he's Persians that lets him do that. And again, Gary's got his out too. So I guess I didn't maybe use the bonus to its full advantage because I should have had the lead already on fishing ships, and it doesn't appear that I do. But so be it. Yeah, everyone's trying to fish boom a bit. Let's see. Charles left 3 villagers behind. 3 villagers left behind for Modi. 4. 4. 4. 4. Yeah, so we all got a very identical start. Charles already has his second dock on the mainland. So he should actually get the fishing ship lead if he's queuing from both. And he is. Yeah, he's a solid player, this guy. And yet, I think, yeah. They're still, they've still lost a lot of games, so. As have we. But I don't call myself a solid player. Yeah, speed this up just a little bit. I've got my second dock now coming down. Now that I've got a bit of an excess in wood, and I'll start queuing fishing ships from both locations. Modi has got his second dock on the back of his island. And we've got... Let's check. Is there a way to check fishing ships from here? You can just look at pop. So you can actually see my villager count's lower. It's just... Set it up this way, something that I can read. So yeah, you can see Charles is quickly pulling ahead. I can see why they picked Pilgrims as their home map, because look at him. Well, he's got the villager lead, he's got the fishing ship lead. He clearly knows how to play this map. Gary has also got a decent fishing ship population, 10. And I'm actually got the least. All my talk about being Dravidians and how they've got a great bonus. I've actually got the lowest number of ships. Tied with Modi. So, I don't know, maybe Dravidian, this talk about Dravidians. But Persians are also a solid choice on this map. So, maybe just Persians' bonuses are better in this case. You know, villagers were fairly close together. You know, Charles does have a chronic 1 villager lead. I think he dropped down his town center earlier than the rest of us. He started producing earlier. You can see he started producing villagers right here. Modi was next, and then me and Gary were last in terms of getting our TCs built, or queuing villagers at least from our TCs. In terms of eco, Charles has a healthy lead on us. So, yeah, not looking great right now. Looks like we're already falling behind. I don't actually know how this... The way I know that Modi is where he is for ELO tells me that Charles just has better fundamentals behind his elo. Same thing with my elo. If like my eco fundamentals are right around 1,000, I might even be worse than some 800, 900 elo players for eco fundamentals, right? Like just booming, spamming knights, you know, like just basic building blocks of a game, right? You can get better from there, learning how to rush later on. But what was I saying? Some people have better fundamentals, I guess, and I think that Charles has good fundamentals behind his 1269 here. I think Modi has found a good strat and has pumped up his elo quite a bit, but it doesn't mean that his fundamentals have changed. Now, he does have good fundamentals. He does boom very well, but you can see this is what it's like looking at like Secretary versus the rest of us on the map. It's like, how has he got all these bonus resources? Where are they coming from? That's how it feels. Frankly, that's how it feels like playing with Blett, who I look at his resources. I'm like, he's doing everything I'm doing. Where are these resources coming from? He's got hacks running. So yeah, Charles keeps pulling ahead. All right, so I'm up. Yeah, we're all up. I want to secure my click up. So I've got my market coming down, and I think I'm going to click up. Because I'm about to have enough gold. Yeah, and I've got to click up to castle. I don't like to waste a lot of time getting up to castle. Some people like to do a lot of feudal aggression. And I do have some ships out. So I spent enough gold that I left 200 over for going up. So I'm learning to fight water. I used to love water maps, but since the rework, I found it actually challenging because it's more complex, the interactions. I don't know, I just don't have the patience for water. Or it's just the map format. On islands, it's like you have a good excuse to just pump out ships. But on pilgrims, I'm always conflicted. I'm always like, oh, I want to do some land aggression. So it's hard for me to convince myself to focus on water. But I tried to support Moti, who felt like we should be contesting water. And, I think that was worth that is a worthy effort because they've got a lot of fishing ships. How many fishing ships do they have at this point? Okay, well, Charles had 18. Gary, 20. Yeah, so Modi was warning me. He's like, I don't know, they're good at fish booming, these guys. And I was like, well, I've seen them fish boom on Black Forest, but are they really good on hybrid maps? I hadn't seen the data to support that. But I guess his instincts were correct. They have got a healthy fish boom going. So Modi is pushing Charles over here on this side. I'm here dealing with Gary, who is massing some galleys, and he denied. I put a tower here to harass him. I'm up to castle now, and I'm going fire galleys against his. I've got my click up on medium warships. We've got Charles and Modi who are about to hit castle as well. Gary is still feudal with no click up yet. They have the eco edge. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? That's a lot of galleys, but I am massing fires now. I actually expected Gary to then produce more hulks, but he seemed to stay on galleys for whatever reason. But he did take out all my hulks, so... But look at this. Gary lost a good third of his fishing ships, or quarter. I'm getting a barracks up because I want to start going land units. I don't like wasting a lot of time on water. Moti is fully devoted to water. He's not doing anything on land. Let's see. Gary here, he's walled, which is more than I can say for myself. Everyone knows that my daughter walls better than I do. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that's something I'm trying to learn, is to just take gold from water. I'm still very used to there only being food in the ocean. Now, that said, I was playing a game the other day where... Did we end up winning it? Yeah, we did end up winning it. I was playing with Fire Frog. I think it was a ranked game with Melly, 3v3. And I was like basically right here, like right on a wood line. And I relied on fishing to survive. And then I had to relocate. But I was basically producing everything based on my ocean economy. So yeah, you got trade, I guess, if you can hold water. So very true. But there's so many resources on land as well. So you don't want to ignore land. That's, I guess, my point. All right, so I'm fires. Modi is galley, war galley. What am I doing over here? I'm producing an archery range. Gary's got scouts on the way out. Still feudal age. Should be up to castle. Oh, right now. Okay. So we're all castle. So we felt like we were probably winning water, which was good. You would think at that point you start producing more fishing ships. But nah. Actually, where am I? Society? Where are my fishing ships here? Oh. I'm tied with Modi. So 12 fishing ships, good enough. Who needs more than that? So yeah, I'm bringing my ships now to support Modi as we push Charles. We knew that Charles still had a stronghold on this side of the map on water. And I'm producing elephant archers. I've teched into bodkin arrow, padded archer armor. Looks like we've got iron casting for Gary. We got some knights out already. What did they see, out of curiosity? So they know where I am, so I can probably expect to get raided soon, right? They know where Moti is. And looks to me like Charles is kind of in full boom. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 TCs. Gary's getting his second up now and about to put down a third. So they're into boom. So I mean they've lost they're losing their ocean economy. So I guess they figure time to pivot to land eco. So possibly a mistake they made was not investing enough on water. Right now we're both invested on water, whereas you can see Gary is starting to build land army. Of course, we've seen that I am also creating land army. I've got elephant archers forward, which actually do fight favorably against knights, but it's not like they don't counter each other. They just are. It's like a 1-for-1 trade. I mean, a knight's going to take down an elephant archer to, I don't know, 60 HP or something, 30 HP. So you lose basically all of the HP off your elephant, but the elephant usually survives, depending on the pathing, the melee pathing, right? Gary is gonna... Oh no, I think we see a hole here, don't we? Gary's gonna exploit this hole. I think this is a hole, right? Huh. Oh. No, maybe there's not a hole. Let's see. I'm finally putting down extra TCs. And interesting. Okay. I know he gets in at one point, but I guess it wasn't through there. I'm starting to put down TCs, trying to get my villager count up. I'm at 50 villagers. Moti is at 55. Charles is already at 82. And Gary's at 46. So I'm now raiding with my elephant archers. And you can see I'm dealing with the... I do have the numerical advantage here, so those knights are going to die. And I'm harassing his farms. Hereby his TC. He is walled, though. Pesky walls. I don't know if this is a counter to my elephant archers, or if this was planned as a counter to my elephant archers, or it looks like maybe he's just going for relics. Yeah, and they keep on taking map control. They keep spreading out westward. Grabbing new resources. How are we doing? I'm finally dropping down a castle. This is more defensive because I knew that Gary was on to knights. I didn't want my eco raided for free. Yeah, so I'm wrapping around here. Oh, by the way, so we've basically taken water at this point. You can see um, uh, Charles lost what last he had of water, and now I'm into Charles' woodline here. But he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as far as I can count on the minimap, 5 TCs, and a lot of villagers. So yeah, great raid, but not a huge raid. Oh, so this is Eco Pop. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I forget capped rage. It's 61 villagers plus 12 fishing ships, 73. 84 is 65 plus 19. You can see Modi's doing the right thing. He's increasing his now fishing ship count now that we've won water. Charles is up, though. He's up to Imp. Yeah, I mean, the Elephant Archers are really, for Dravidians, they are what you produce instead of Knights. They've got good infantry, but if you want, like, I don't know, they don't have the mobility of Knights. That's the problem. So you don't have a lot of mobility as Dravidians. But yeah, I've come to like them more and more as I've played them more. I don't like that, you know, monks are a natural counter to them. And they're slow, which sucks. But they are tanky, and so I've come. You can see I'm just running under the TC because I don't know. I thought Charles Martel had just given up at this point and he'd thrown up his hands, but I think he just has such a huge eco that he's like, well, that's lost anyway. I'm just surprised he let this happen to his eco just because I'm running around through it. Yeah, so let's see. Great Civ matchup. Celts, Dravidian both have strong anti-cav infantry. Yeah, I guess the Celts don't. They take advantage of the faster moving infantry. Infantry move faster. I think Moti went Celts because of the better lumberjacks, the faster working lumberjacks. I personally thought he should have gone a different civ, but you can't tell your teammate what to do, especially if they're almost 200 elo higher than you. Yeah, so I guess the faster the Halbs is advantageous there. And yeah, the cheaper upgrades on Dravidian. I see I'm getting a few raids here, but we're taking care of it. The faster upgrades from the barracks from Dravidians is huge. Being able to tech into Halb for like half. I think is it half the price of everything, or is it just half the food or something? I sometimes get confused. Barracks techs cost minus 50%. It's huge. It's a huge amount of savings. So you've got, yeah, Halbs for very cheap because that Halb upgrade is pretty pricey. I think it's, what's it, 300 and 600 or something? Or Halb. Infantry. Halberdier. Yeah. It would normally be 300 food, 600 gold. So yeah, just a little bit of chaos going on here. I've just got elephant archers trying to deny this castle right in the middle of his base. Nothing's happening at water anymore. We've taken water. So now really we're just trying to push eastward, and they are trying to hold and trying to get in some raids. They did get in some raids against us, but nothing too critical. Yeah, have to run here. They're tanky units, but not that tanky. Let's see, I'm up to Bodkin Arrow, I'm up to Leather Archer Armor. I need to finish my upgrades now that I'm... Oh, I'm not Imp. What am I talking about? So Modi is Imp. Charles is Imp. And I'm feeling the pressure, though. I'm like, well, I need to go Imp, because I'm going to lose the tech advantage very quickly here. Alright, Charles has got Knights out, and I think now we start to feel a little bit stressed about the raids. I just bought Imp. You can see all the transactions. I just wanted to get up, and I had so much wood. I just was floating, and this always happens to me. I'm floating like... I was floating like 3,000, or at some point it was like 6,000 wood. And so I gave a bunch to Modi. I just sold a bunch at the market. Just because I suck at balancing my eco, because I don't have good fundamentals, as I've already established. Yeah, and in terms of map control, Bob, the mistake we made a few games ago against VK is we both dropped off in the same spot, like right over here on one corner of the map. And then we sat down next to each other, and VK sat down right next to us. And then he just basically blocked us in. We couldn't spread out. And then Sushi? VK and Sushi? VK and... What's his teammate? Anyway. I'm forgetting the teams at the moment. Yeah, I think it was Sushi. He had like a free boom on the other corner of the map. So we learned from that. We were like, no, we got to spread out a little bit. We got to give each other room to take map control. We can't get sandwiched in a corner. I don't know how I let my elephants get in this position. At a certain point here, I start to panic and make skirmishers. I don't know why I was making skirmishers. Maybe because I realized we had Magyars and I was expecting cavalry archers. And I started making skirms, but I was like, well, it's not going to be any use against Cav. Now, granted, Modi was making Halbs, so I was trying to just trust my teammate to make the counter to some units while I made the counter to other units. But sometimes you feel like a need to do all... Oh, this is the raid. I don't know. Oh, this tree got chopped. Oh no, did I miss that? That would have been awesome. I should have been here for that. I think Gary must have chopped and then built and deleted. Oh, that's a sweet move. So we got a raid here against Modi. What was the damage of that raid? Not very much damage though by this point in the game. Look at Gary's villager count. But actually, you can see that while Charles has a lot of resources collected, so does Modi, and so do I. Which is shocking coming from me that I actually have that many resources collected. So yeah, we're working to try and like seal off the map now. We had things like this happening down here where Charles is starting to harass our town centers down in the south. So we started to try and spread. I'm dropping down town centers because they do help with map control a little bit. They aren't the best, but they are cheaper than castles, and it helps you seize resources. So, and I'm just parked here, right, protecting Trebs. And we actually have the villager lead, the eco lead at least, which is not something you can say every day for our team. Yeah, nothing happening too interesting there. Let's speed up a little bit. Because I feel like there's not too many great plays that come in. It's just kind of... Oh, this happens again. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that stings. At a certain point here, I think during this raid we go, okay, enough of this nonsense. And we just start dropping down castles everywhere. As soon as the knights started to raid us, I was like, because I don't like to wall, I was just like, okay, we're just going to drop down a bunch of extra castles to deal with this problem. Had the stone to spare. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to go very far, this raid. Yeah, we'll speed up again. Not that fast. At a certain point, I do actually upgrade to heavy elephant archer, but it takes a while to get there. See, incidentally, cavalry archers don't really counter elephant archers. I sent wood here. You can see I was floating so much wood, I just sent a whole bunch to Modi. It was everything. He had no wood. Yeah, they called it. They were able to realize quite quickly that the game was not going to end in their favor. They could have kept playing for a while, I guess. Maybe they could have recovered, but some people have better game sense than I do, so they called the game there. All right, so I need to actually update the scoreboard. So that was 1 win for them in the game 1, 1 win for us in game 2. And while we're here, we're also going to just quickly adjust. I tried to do this before I started streaming today, but we're going to do Moto Howlers v LDL. Lowdown Legends. All right. And I'm going to queue up the last game, and I'm going to step away just for 30 seconds, and I will let Dark Age play without much commentary. And I'm back. So this is Hideout. This was our map pick, but it was the final map of the set. So by default, this is the last map played. And we have myself as Portuguese. Don't ask me why I picked Portuguese. During the draft, it was... I basically, for this... we can actually just take a look at the draft quickly while we're here. I'm going to pause so we don't miss anything. Where's draft? Actually, we just can turn off that. All right. So, looking at the Civ draft here, I picked Portuguese kind of because I lost out on some of my Civs. Bulgarians is obviously one I'm very familiar with. Byzantines I'm familiar with, and I've played some good games with Khmer. And there was probably another Civ I could have picked, but I was like, I've enjoyed playing Portuguese. I don't know if I've really won any games with Portuguese, but it's like a Civ I like the idea of. So we picked that. We also picked Teutons because Moti had suggested maybe he would Tower Rush, but for him it was really between Romans and Teutons. And I said, go Romans. You had good luck with the Romans last time we played a match. So he went Romans, and I could have gone Teutons, but I don't know how to Tower Rush, and I don't know how else to play Teutons because are they a cavalry civilization? Are they an infantry civilization? I don't really know. I know they have. I understand that they've got these bonuses. They've got good siege. I've never been able to like play them well, and it's probably just a lack of practice with that civ. But I always just feel awkward playing Teutons. They've got strong bonuses like cheaper farms and all the rest, but it just I was like, no, I don't feel comfortable with Teutons. What I do like about Portuguese is I know they get redemption monks, and I really surprised Saber with redemption monks on our hideout game last time. And I mean, he's paired with Coca, who's insane. So I figured, okay, we're playing against someone who's not quite as good as Coca. Maybe I can use my redemption monks and get some good damage in. And you get cheaper monks, 80 gold per monk. Okay, let's switch back to the game. Sorry, and I'll stop just keeping up the draft here. So I figured I would go redemption monks that are cheaper, cheaper gold. And I could go the organ gun against let's talk about the other civs. We've got Armenians here. I was hoping to be next to the Armenians player, Gary. They get long swords in the feudal age, and they get champions in the castle age. If you're willing to spend all the resources, upgrading to champion, you can get champions in castle age. And then in the imperial age, they get 100 HP champions with their unique tech, which is ferreters. It looks like. Yeah. So I was worried about infantry, and I felt, well, like organ gun is a good option. Now, granted, Teutons would have been fine too because they've got tanky, unique units that can go up against infantry. But I feel like playing infantry against infantry doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You want to play a useful counter. Anyway, so that was my rationale there. And they could have chosen between Ethiopians and Huns for the other pick. Charles went with Ethiopians instead of Huns. But I was thinking if he goes Huns, we're going to see cavalry. I could use my monks against cavalry. I don't know. I guess either Civ would have been fine, but I'll stop talking about my Civ pick now. But there was some rationale behind it. Not the perfect boar lure by any means. Let's look at the deer lure techniques. I like to hold my gate open with a sheep and have someone steal it and walk away with it. And I push my deer that way. Moti likes to delete a piece of wall, which is what Saber did on my mirror match with him. And consequently, I was able to just run into his base and harass him in there. So I don't like this technique personally. Gary is doing what I do. And Charles is doing the delete wall technique. So the good players delete a wall piece, and the bad players open their gate with a sheep. So I'm gathering that it's a high elo technique to just delete a wall piece. I felt like it was a rough dark age for me, but actually right now resources collected is pretty much tied up. This whole like fancy thing where people transport their villagers to one corner of the TC, I don't have good luck. I've never really practiced that. All right. Yeah, I've got a deer rotting here. You know, I don't bring in my animals always at the best timing. For me, it's just like get the deer in, and then my villager went and killed a deer way over here, but at least it was next to my mill, so, you know, thank the Lord for small mercies. Moti's bringing in his second to last deer. I'm trying to bring in my last, and this thing decided to troll me big time. Gary, I think he's got only 2 of his deer in. See, pulling your sheep away from your gate, unless it got stolen, makes some sense. How's he pushing these deer without a sheep nearby? Anyway. We're almost tied up for villager count. And still an unremarkable. See, I am lagging on resources collected. I had a few oopsies. Look at this thing, though. Look at this stupid deer. Also, I couldn't get my scout to path where I needed it to go. So I think I eventually just ate it there, which was terrible. Drove me crazy. All right. Sealed up his wall and bringing in his last deer. We've got a barracks coming down for our Ethiopian's player, which means he's going to go archery ranges feudal age. We're actually up to feudal for Charles, so we're going to see archers at some point, right? That's what Ethiopians do, despite their unique unit being a high damage output infantry unit. They do, and they get free pike upgrade, which is nice. What they really do is archers, right? They're what, 18% faster firing? 18, yeah. All right, we've got everyone scouting each other. I've scouted a little bit of his walls, but I was pushing deer, and I'm just eating my deer here. What is he seeing? Yeah, he's seeing, laughing at me right now. Gary has scouted Moto, and I'm trying to see what he's up to, but I'm pretty sure I know what he's up to, and that is archery range. And I do actually spout this range, I believe. So that was confirmation of what he was planning to do. As soon as I'm up, but I'm up last because I'm bad at this game. Any minute now. Any minute now I'll hit feudal. Eco upgrades in immediately for Gary because he knows how to play. Okay, so this is probably more interesting than watching me try and scout Charles. Modi is coming forward with militia, and he's grabbing his man-at-arms upgrade. And now, I'm going to say something important about playing Romans. You can't play Romans without their upgrades. The Roman gimmick is double effect of infantry armor upgrades. If you don't have any armor upgrades, you don't have any advantage to your infantry over any other civilization. In fact, they're, I think, just generic infantry, especially in feudal and castle age, unless you get your armor upgrades. So you need to get your armor upgrades. Oh boy, what's this fancy business here? What's Gary doing? In terms of tower location, probably towering here would have been smarter. I don't think that was scouted. Yeah, it wasn't scouted. Modi admitted that his rush was not going to plan. It was late. And this tower is not... It's a safe tower, you could call it. You could drop a tower next to it, but ideally you would put a tower maybe to deny the stone, deny the gold. Interesting. This is an interesting secondary wall. And Gary absolutely was anticipating this rush. He knew what was coming for him. Do we have arson yet for my man? Infantry. We don't have arson yet. So, yeah, if you're going to try and break... Oh, wait. Yeah. If you're going to do this, you need to have arson, right? You're wasting time. So this would have been stronger with arson. It would have been stronger with the first infantry armor, which we do not have at the moment. Charles is a minute 20 from Castle Age. I'm a minute 10 from Castle Age. Everything's peaceful on the northern front, northeastern front. I'm not doing anything. He is massing archers, though, so no feudal aggression from him. But we're probably going to see crossbows in Castle Age, I would imagine. And what are we doing here? Oh yeah, when he's got man-at-arms running around his base. He's doing some of these wall to the TC to protect his wood line and his gold. A second tower. This tower isn't safe though because it's not in range of the other tower. Not until you get some range upgrades, I guess. And Modi looks like he's housed. Is that what that means? I think he's housed. So unfortunately not doing a whole lot of damage here. I would have liked to see this tower further up to cover more of his base. But yeah, you know, a few mistakes unfortunately here. Let's take a look at my mistakes. So I'm on stone because I want to go organ gun. I don't think organ gun is really a counter to crossbow. What does it say? What's the official information on organ guns? They are strong versus large groups of units. So yeah, presumably they would be good against archers as long as you aren't at a range disadvantage and you have enough to do good damage. Alright, now the problem with this rush... Oh, there's a counter tower from Gary. The problem with this rush is that you are rushing the Armenian player. Why is this a problem? Because we're getting a longsword upgrade in Feudal Age. So... The towers are not going to fare too well against longswords. And so this isn't going to go well. Does Modi at least have his armor? It does not look like he does. So this was an unfortunate oversight. It had been a long match already. We'd played 2 games. This game wrapped up for me at like almost midnight. So for him it was almost 1 a.m. by the time the match wrapped. So... possibly that has something to do with it. Now, granted, Modi is a bit of a night owl, so maybe that didn't matter. Okay, we have our first armor upgrade now. Oh, and I totally missed this, but Charles came along with his crossbows and broke into my base. Now, I do have a siege workshop that I rushed up with a Scorp, and I rushed up a castle, and so he just didn't want to play with that. He was like, nope. He noped out of there. Yeah, you see. Let's see. Yeah, he saw the castle, he saw the siege workshop, and decided that wasn't worth his effort. And, you know, we got Modi here pushing his ally, so he's gonna just bypass me, walk around to Modi. At least that's what I warned him. I'm like, you got crossbows coming your way. When they leave that fast and they don't go back to their base, yeah, it's likely your ally's about to see some pain. Yeah, Ethiopian Siege, what they got the torsion engines. Granted, that is imp, but is something you have to think about late game. Yeah, there was probably a better civ to play. Just the drafts already are so task loaded trying to pick civs and think about civs and think about bans. And frankly, I was saying to Modi when we were doing it, I'm like looking at all the civs in front of me, and I'm like, I know these are in alphabetical order, but I can't find the civ that I'm trying. You know, it takes me 20 seconds just to spot the civ I want to click on, much less think about what civ makes sense. I guess that all comes with game experience. If you instantly see Ethiopians, you can think siege and archers. What do we want to go against that? Also, it depends on when stuff comes in the draft. We actually know that Charles was going to play archers, so we banned Britons and we banned Vietnamese. However, I wouldn't have actually minded grabbing Vietnamese as a counter archer civ. But I was actually thinking about picking Koreans. I don't know if Koreans would have been good here. Gotta think about that for a sec. They're a solid civ on closed maps. I was worried though that on hideout Fatorias were not going to be a thing. I wasn't going to find a place to put down any Fatorias. Yeah, and we got longswords in now from our Armenians player, and the towers are dying, and so this push has come to an end. And now Modi's in trouble because he's got a bunch of crossbows outside his walls. And that's not great. So I'm like, let me rescue you by pressuring the enemy. So I bring forward a bunch of Scorps and organ guns just because that's what I was able to produce. Should have produced maybe a mangonel because I was worried about mangonels with this composition. But I did bring a monk forward. Do I have... I don't think I have redemption though. I'm grabbing redemption now to deal with his mangonels. But I was worried. I didn't like this composition. It's just all I had, and I wanted to pressure him quickly because I knew that Modi was in trouble. And short of marching my guys slowly all around the map, I felt like it was probably more effective for me to just pressure Charles. Because if we didn't pressure him, he'd get a free boom, right? Anyway, so I felt like, okay, well, you're kind of on your own, but I will at least go be a fly in the ointment for Charles. Still producing organs here. But I was worried. I was like, I need melee. I need something to defend this. So I did drop down a stable, although I don't have any knights yet. But now I've got redemption monks. My problem is just without block printing, this is always a dicey proposition. Because the range isn't that different between these. I did get my conversion in. That was nice. That was a nice cleanup there. The range is 7 on these, and the range on a monk is 9. And you're dealing with these guys, which also have 7, right? The crossbows. So you got units with like just 2 less range. So your monks are very close to the danger. And so trying to micro around a monk, yeah, redemption's a great tech, but you can still lose units, especially with my skill level. So let's take a look at Modi here. So he's having a bad day here. Mangonel's doing its job. I would have maybe liked to Scorp a bit more than that, especially as Romans. You get the cheaper Scorps, but so be it. And I'm backing away because I lost my monk. I had nothing to counter the mangonels. Eventually I produced knights. There we go. There's knights. So this is the thing. I have played Portuguese. I've not played them enough to have a good feel for them. I know you basically just get gold discounts on a whole bunch of things. So I was like, well, I'll go knights because I get a discount on them. How much do knights cost as Portuguese? It should be more affordable. I can't see the cost of a knight here. All right, whatever. But it's a 20% discount. Yeah, minus 20%. So what is a knight normally? 70 gold. So take off 14 from there. 50, 56 gold, something like that. Oh, almost lost his mangonel there. Oh, knight still. So yeah, I would like him to be on Scorps, I think. That would be better against this. And I should be on to... Should have maybe been massing knights. I am so averse to stable units. It's someone needs to psychoanalyze me and figure out why I hate knights so much. If I just learn to play knights more, I think I'll play cavalry in general more. I play lots of light cap. Somehow I just don't... I think it's because they're so expensive. And I'm a cheapskate. This hurts. I could tell what was about to happen. We got all these very expensive units all bunched up, and yeah, that hurt. So I was just misplaying here. In theory, there was a way to play this to my advantage, but in practice, I was not. They're such clumsy units. They're slow moving. They you know. I got another conversion in, but it was in a bad spot, and yeah, it was basically dead already, the unit, so. Oh well. But this night was great, except for the fact that I'm still losing expensive siege over here. Yeah, I lost too much. That's just painful. So yeah, I didn't have any grasp for unit comp. I can complain about what my teammate should have been doing with his units, but I just felt like all thumbs. I didn't know what unit comp to use. I was like, well, I think at a certain point I go, well, he's making archers. I know how to counter archers. I don't know why I'm not just doing it, right? Like sometimes you feel like, well, this civ is really good at gunpowder, so I need to be doing gunpowder. It's like, no, what you need to be doing is just countering the opponent. And sometimes I think I overcomplicate things for myself. I'm like, I don't know how to play this civ, so I'm going to play it in some way that's counterintuitive. Rather than saying, I see archers, I make skirmishers, right? Now, the only time you don't want to do that is if you happen to be the Turks, in which case you're hosed, but in most cases, you see archers, you make skirms. You see archers, you make siege. And I was making siege, it's just I wasn't making the right siege. Mangonels. Mangonels would have countered both of these things, right? You can play mangonel battles all day, but you're not going to play Scorp mangonel battles very effectively. Yeah, so we got long swords with please tell me, yeah, with the second armor upgrade against two-handed swordsmen. So the two-handed swordsmen have 1+2 and 1+3 versus 1+4. So we have better armor on our long swords. So these should clean up okay. But presumably you can get onto champ even. Oh, yeah, traded mangonels there. Got Charles being a jerk over here. And I've got an organ gun just sitting here wasting my time. Or look at this. Look at how good I am with monks. Look at this expert pro play. Yeah, that's how you play monks. You put them out in vulnerable locations and you lose them for free. And you also lose knights for free. This is how you play pro, guys. Finally, I put this organ gun to use. But yeah, you know, like it did damage all these units, but you're not going to win when there's a numerical superiority. All right, where are we at here? Everyone's still just Castle Age. We have 159 to 137 units. I've not looked at the eco balance, but you can actually see that this game is very even. Modi is behind because he went for some early aggro, but it's shockingly tied up right now in terms of the other three players. I mean, that's a problem for my team, though, because my teammate is behind in eco. The hope, of course, is that you're doing damage to the opponent, but based on his resources collected, unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. So, you know, that's not great. This is very uncharacteristic of Modi. Frankly, I think in future games, with my teammate, I need to tell him to do what he does best, and that is make villagers. That's what he does best. I can't play Portuguese. I like them, but they're too slow for me. You have to go Castle Age. And I guess you could do like a Red Phosphru thing where you go fast castle drop into organs. But that's the only way to play hyper aggressive with this civ, I think. You could do a siege monk push, which I tried. I tried my siege monk push, but I don't know how to do a siege monk push, so it turned out just as well as you might expect from me. And Charles is now up to imp. Actually, we're all up to imp. Except for Gary. Again, I haven't really committed to any particular unit. I was just grabbing upgrades, so I've got the cavalry armor, I've got fletching, and now I think, yeah, you can see I've decided I'm just going to go skirm. I'm grabbing Bodkinero. I'm like, you know, forget this. Forget doing something fancy. I'm just making skirms. Because I know that skirms can counter archers. None of the other fancier ideas were working. Organ guns, I mean, they would have probably been fine in enough number, but he had mangonels out, and they're expensive. You know, they cost gold, those organ guns, so... So yeah, let's see here. We have champions from Gary. Gary is still not... He should be up now to imp. What's the delay here for him? I think he needs maybe his buildings. So he should be able to go up now. I imagine we'll see the click up. So we're up to imp already. So I want a treb immediately. But if you look, I didn't have any gold. Where'd that gold go? I spent the gold on something. Oh, I got block printing instead of getting a treb. I was getting a whole bunch of text, actually. I should have been saving my resources for a treb, so I could start trebbing down his castle. But I also wanted to counter his skirms, right? But if I could have sat safely underneath my castle and trebbed his castle, that would have been perfect. He can't do anything with his crossbows if my treb was safely under my castle. But Charles is a better player, and he's already on trebs. I wanted to be on trebs. My treb is coming, but just at about the same time, even though I had the age up advantage over him, we're both going, and you can see Arbs are in. Gary's now walled. He's turtling. He's got a castle in a great spot right here on this hill. And Modi's playing a bit of catch up here. I think he's lagging also on villager count. Not by a huge amount. He's 5 villagers behind me. But look at our opponents. Lowdown Legends are at 208 villager pop. And yeah. Castle trebbing. Actually, it was this castle I was going to treb. But he's got 2 trebs out. I've got 1 treb out. I'm making another, but... and I don't have any villagers nearby. I have 1 villager here building archery ranges. So I need to pull villagers off of gold over here to come repair this castle. This castle's going to go down, right? You got Modi on, what's this, 3, 4 town centers, 3 for Gary. Is that 4 for Charles? 1, 2, 3. 3. And I'm on to, like, 5, but you don't see the advantage of those 5 town centers, really, in terms of my eco. Take a look at resources collected quick. Still, though, I'm still keeping up, right? Like, I'm still keeping up with Charles and Gary, which to me is an achievement. The problem is I'm playing catch-up in terms of the military. I need to snap up ballistics still. I'm working on ballistics. But I am starting to mass skirmishers now, finally. But I was just feeling behind the 8 ball. I think I had the resources, I just didn't have the production. You know, my gold is a little bit thin. I needed to have like 20 more villagers by this point, at least. See, Charles is only on 103, but he still has that eco edge. And he's got trebs out that he's been able to defend, and I lost my trebs and my castle, so I'm kind of on the back foot a little bit. And they are walling. Yeah, apparently, when you get to feudal age, there's these things called stone walls, and you can actually like wall the map with them to deny map control or raiding from the opponent. It's this fascinating thing. I need to find where it is in the building menu. One day, maybe I'll be able to find it, and then I can actually build some walls of my own. Because all I do is I just line the map with houses to deny the enemy from getting in. And it doesn't work quite as well as these fancy stone walls. So, anyway. Oh, this is not a show match, by the way. Just ignore that. This is an actual league game. I'm gonna speed a little bit forward. So, actually, those, what are those things called? The Shalotl? Yeah, Shotel. Shotel Warrior. They have crap Pierce. I took them out with skirmishers, so you know that they're bad if you kill them with skirmishers. They are what people describe as a glass cannon. High damage output, low HP, low armor. Or maybe it's just that they have low HP. Maybe it's not even that they have low armor. Because even if you're doing 1 damage a hit, if the HP is not very high... Yeah, let's take a look at these things. 45 HP, so that's actually pretty low HP. And yeah, they've only got +1. That might just be because of his upgrades. Oh, he has only the first armor upgrade. So if he gets the second armor upgrade, that'll help. But yeah, they die rapidly to skirm. So things have come to a bit of a stall here. Gary has got, looks like Warrior Priest, he's got Champions, he's got Cap Dram, now Siege Ram, and it looks like he's going to go for a Siege push here. And that's up against Modi, who is onto Legionary. Let's take a look at this for a second. Legionary has 12 plus 4 attack, 2 plus 4 and 2 plus 4 armor, and 75 hit points. This is normally 70 hit points. It's 100 for Armenians. 1 plus 3 and 1 plus 5. So that's 4 and 6. This is 6 and 6. 12 plus 4 and 14 plus 4. So I don't know. I think I like these champs better than I like these legionaries. I guess the legionary has a slight HP bonus over a typical champion, but they've got less attack. Yeah, but you bring this thing in, and there should be a bonus, right? What is the bonus? Romans have the Centurion. Roman increases movement and attack speed of nearby militia line units. Okay. Attack speed. So attack speed is going to effectively increase the DPS, damage per second, or damage per minute, however you want to state that figure. So as long as you have this Centurion nearby, your legionaries will be more effective. And I think also there is the unique tech. This comitatenses, where they get a charged attack. So maybe I'm creating sandbox, by the way, in the scenario editor. And so anyone who's interested, we can do some sandbox games where I contribute exact amounts of resources to each of us so that we can like have a cost controlled comparison, like 1,000 resources to each of us, and we produce different units and we compare them. We mash them together. It'd be nice if there's a rapid way to like switch civs in game. That's the downside, is you have to pick 2 civs and just go with it. But I think that could be an interesting sandbox to play around in. I do it by myself right now, but it'd be probably more interesting to do with someone. All right, we do have our Scorps. This should be able to push off the champions. Over here, it's kind of a stalemate. I mean, my skirms are holding back this. I've teched into Cavalier now. Yeah, see, these Shotels are still just dying. They've got their full upgrades now, and they're still just melting to skirms. So, they do a lot of damage, but that's the only thing going for them, really. But I don't have any siege at this point. I think I've finally pop capped. No, I have not. I've lost a bunch of military. Oh, let's see. I wanted to get trade going because I'm running out of gold. Everything I'm producing, not everything. You know, producing cavalry is expensive. But Charles does keep on pushing forward. I'm having trouble with this. But at least I've crystallized on a unit comp. I've gone skirm. I've gone cav. This castle is just in a bad place though for Modi. Trying to push this castle. I'm trying to think. I'm wondering why he didn't just produce like 5 or 10 trebs. Of course, trebs up on elevation can be a problem too. But with enough trebs, I feel like you could. Yeah, you bring him here and then he rushes forward. Now he's also got the elite composite bowmen, which bypass armor, which is a fantastic counter to these high armor infantry units. So this was a good pick, going with Armenians versus Romans. They've already got trade going here. So they got their trade routes going, and we can probably see it in the society tab here. Oh, they just started. They just started trade. So they were thinking about trade just a little bit sooner than we were. I've got a trade unit out now, and we're going to start trading. Now, What's going on here? Put an outpost because you're always worried about the cut whenever it's on a map with a bunch of trees. And at some point, I think I do tell Modi, hey, let's try cutting the forest. Because, you know, it was getting to a point here where I'm like, this is a stalemate. And they're going to collect more resources because I don't do well at this kind of game. Yeah, you can see now. I've fallen to the... I'm still keeping up with Charles. That in of itself to me is an achievement. That's a win for me, just keeping up with Charles. I mean, that might just mean he was focused on army as was I. But that feels good. And you can see Modi is going exponential here. He may actually overtake Gary eventually. But their trade's pretty healthy now. Our trade is just sort of like fledgling. We haven't really gotten it going. There's a few units out though. Problem is I was pop capped. I've got a whole bunch of skirms, a whole bunch of cav. And I don't know. Oh, this does make sense because I'm going cav, right? So he's on Halb and Arb. And okay, Onager. I did say, do you have Onager? Let's do some cutting. And Charles. Oh, Charles is warning. They somehow saw. They're seeing the Onagers. They're seeing the Onagers being produced. So he's putting down a castle, a defensive castle, because he knows what's coming next. So they were on to us. Yeah, sometimes you gotta hide your game plan. And these outposts, I need to outpost more. I don't outpost nearly enough. It's something I underutilize. I'm attempting to raid here, but you know I was talking about these fancy things called walls? Yeah. This is actually foolish because he's got so many halbs. He could trap and kill all of my cav. Yeah, I noped out of there. As soon as I see the halb, I'm like, nope. So he should have come maybe this way with his halbs to cut me off, but I think I mostly escaped this unharmed. I might lose one horse. Nope, I'm okay. Now, you see what the problem for me is. I don't have anything against this. So this is where things start to go sideways for us. Modi is cutting at the same time that I am dealing with this. And I'm being 2v1'd now, and I don't have a counter. I'm the Portuguese. I have organ guns. I just haven't produced organ guns for a while because I didn't see the need for them. But now there's a whole bunch of infantry, and I don't have a single organ gun. So this is where unit composition should include more than just 2 units. I should have had a 3rd unit. I should have had organ guns as well. But, you know, what are you going to do? So I lose that, all of that, and now they're pushing me. Now Modi is into Gary's eco here. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, and we got the siege ram on top of the Scorps. And with the splash damage, don't these all die? Really? I thought siege rams had area effect. I guess not. Yeah, so I am crumbling to the pressure. That's one thing I don't do well. Some people in this league, even if they're not very good players, they can hold off a push for hours. They're good defenders. They're not good at attacking, but they're good at defending. I don't know how to defend. You can see right here, I've just crumbled. They're in. There's really no turning this around. I am going on to organ guns now, but not enough. I just don't have the mass. What I need is a mass of organs and skirms, and that would do me well. Why did I do Calv in the first place? Because I was worried, these organs and skirms are both vulnerable to melee units, but they don't have IR. They're vulnerable to cavalry. I guess I should have known that Ethiopians and Armenians aren't really cavalry civs, and I shouldn't have worried about it. I was worried about something that didn't exist as a risk. So that's a misplay on my part. I should have gone organ gun, skirm, for this composition of opponent. So that was my misplay. I had the wrong unit comp. Anyway, it's really just a mop-up at this point. Not to spoil the ending, but Modi's just not able to push this castle. He's not able to push through here. And I'm just being caved in. It's the last game of the night, so I'm like, well, I'll make more production buildings and I'll just try to produce. Losing our trade. I do make like a Fatoria for whatever use that's going to be. So yeah, I've been hollowed out at this point. And yeah, these things are just shredding the legionaries. Oh, he did take down this castle. I didn't notice that. It's too bad. I wish I could have held. Modi actually broke through here. Yeah. So we called a good game. I'm basically dead at this point. And they're still healthy, so was the game. It was well played by them, not so much by us. Yeah, there we go. That's the final score. So yeah, I'll be putting up the rec now on Discord. I didn't do it last night, but again, the game went late for me. It was basically midnight when we wrapped, and then we chatted for a while with them about the game, and we can take a quick look at our standings for this tourney. So if you haven't been paying attention recently to the matches and you're not caught up and you don't want spoilers, this is your fair warning. You can click away now. But if you're interested, let's take a look at take a look at standings, tournament standings. And here's our standings. So we have in rank number 1, the Tortoise and the Hare. That's Coca and low APM Saber with 4 straight wins, no defeats. I would like to see maybe... have they played I'm Gonna Die yet? I don't know if they have. I'm trying to remember. I would like a better way to visualize which team has played which team. I need to actually work on that. Shoveler has a better tournament viewer for viewing like the matchups, which I just haven't been using because it doesn't have the correct seed order. Like it matters which seat is admin and which seat is host and guest for drafting. And I didn't want to use a completely different thing anyway. Inside baseball, that doesn't really matter. So then we've got I'm Gonna Die, which is in second place with 4 straight wins and 1 loss. They lost to CCP. So actually, I would like to see them play the Tortoise and the Hare. That would be a fun game to watch. I would also like to see CCP, which is now in 3rd ranking with 3 straight wins. I'd like to see them play Tortoise and the Hare. I'm eager to watch those 3 games, or those 2 games. 3 games? Yeah, all those matchups I think would be interesting to watch. We've got VK and Sushi as low eco, high tempo. They've got 3 wins to 1 loss. They lost against... Did they also lose against Bleh and Comrade? Or was that I'm Gonna Die? See, I'm forgetting all the games now. There's been too many. We've got Lowdown Legends, who played tonight. They were at 4 straight losses, or 4 losses, 1 win. And they picked up another win against us tonight. So they're at 2 wins, 4 losses. We've got Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's Piment and Harya. They lost to my team, so that's their one loss. And then they won against Shoveler's team. That's Shoveling, Firefrog, and the Falcon. Um, that's Firefrog and Shoveler. And but they haven't played very many games. So the fact that I won versus Piment and Harya and lost against, or we lost against Lowdown Legends, I feel like Piment's significantly better than Charles. That said, Gary might be better than Harya, but Harya's no slouch. So it's possible Piment was just off his game that night. So I do actually expect that once Piment's back in the saddle, we're going to see some highly competitive games with Red Hot Chili Peppers against all those teams above them, to be honest. And then there's my team. We are on a losing streak. Not really. We broke our losing streak last game against Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's our one win. We're on 4 losses right now. We still need to play everyone below us, though. So I'm hoping that bodes well for our win rate. We also have to play CCP, which is in 3rd place right now. So we still have 4 games to play, and then we're done. So then we got Winter Zeus. If you're watching this, guys, Winter Blood, Zeus, please get some games in. We need to keep things moving here. Tarapolos is on 3 games, 3 straight losses. I can understand being not very excited to keep playing when you keep losing, but hey, look at all my red in my column here. So please, I encourage you guys to get your games in. And we've got our fierce leader who had to replace his teammate with Firefrog just recently. They got a bunch of games in, and he's been busy with work, but I think next week he's off. So hopefully we'll see our rank 10 team get some games in and hopefully score some wins as well. Here's the encouragement to those of you in 8th through 10th place. Sometimes your only job in life is to be last place. Make everyone else feel good about themselves. I played a tournament where I lost every single match. It has to happen once in a while, right? They often create divisions, and there's always going to be a time where you are too good to be in the lower division, and you're going to be in the next highest division, but you're going to be the worst player in that division. And I played games where I'm 100 elo different from all the other players, and I just got crushed every single game. And you know what? Yeah, it's not fun losing, but it was still a fun experience overall. So, you know, make it fun. Try some cheesy strats. Have some fun with it. Have some fun with losing. Just go in, have a good time. That's what we're here for. I played this match last night. I'm not actually feeling well today. That's why I'm sitting home casting this instead of at a birthday party of a friend. Well, a friend of my child's. I was supposed to be there today. I was supposed to be doing a lot of things this week, but I've been home sick. I don't know if you can hear my voice. I might be a little bit more nasally than normal. I'm out sick this week, so instead so I played a match even though I'm not feeling 100%. Because the point is just to have some good games together. Yeah, I know that as soon as you start scoring stuff, it can seem more intimidating, but don't forget, we're doing this for fun, guys. So anyway, with that, I think I've been droning on long enough. Hope you enjoyed the cast, and I am excited to watch some more games. It's been a lot of fun. So with that, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. Good afternoon.